As a new school year begins for all, we all have a responsibility to drive slower, to stay alert, and be very patient, especially in school zones and car lines for pickup. We've got Sergeant Rob Mallory with DPS with back to school road safety tips. Thank you so much for being with us here on Domingo Live.
Thank you for having me, Barbie. It's great to be here.
Of course. So talk to us about the biggest hazards in the school zone.
I mean, obviously, we've got to get out of that summer routine, and we're in our back-to-school routine, and things have changed. So, we just, like you said, exercise that patience as we get into the school zone. Watch for those school zone signs to become active and start flashing. Make sure we're paying attention, reducing our speed. Obviously, we can't text and drive at all, but definitely need to stay off those cell phones in the school zones. And that goes for the kids walking to school as well. Make sure you're looking both ways before you cross the street.
That's what that's the first thing that I think about, especially as I'm driving and I see these kids. If they're not looking down on their phone, they have their headphones on, riding their bike. That is so dangerous. You need to know what's around you, what your surroundings are at all times. So not only for the students, but also for the parents. Give us some more tips. I know that one of the things that I always like to have is an up-to-date picture of my daughter on my phone. Tell us about the importance of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Parents, as you get ready for this new school year, make sure your school has your child's updated emergency contact information for you and your other emergency contacts. Make sure you have an up-to-date photo of them as well in case they get lost or they go missing. And just go through all the school policies and go through all the school rules with your student. I know we're about to be bombarded with a lot of information from these school districts, but it's important to go over all those things with our students.
Now, you need to tell us about the laws regarding school buses, because that seems to be a problem. They think that just because it's pulled over and the lights are on, they can still go around them. No, they cannot. Kids can come out. So tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, starting tomorrow, we're going to start seeing more and more buses on the roadway, and drivers should be thinking two things. Okay, that bus is going to make a lot of stops, and two, there's going to be a lot of kids around them. So they need to be ready for it to make stops, and where are those kids going to come from? When you see those flashing red lights and stop signs coming out, if there's just paint on the roadway, everyone needs to stop for that school bus. Now, if there's some type of divider like concrete or grass in the middle, then traffic going the opposite direction will then be allowed to continue on. But while those red lights are flashing and the stop signs are out, traffic needs to be prepared needs to stop for those kids loading and unloading.
So what are the consequences of someone who illegally passes a school bus?
So for a first-time offense, you're looking at a fine between $500 to $1,250 for your first-time offense, and the possibility of having your driver's license suspended for up to 6 months. Unfortunately, if somebody gets injured or killed, now you're looking at some sort of criminal charges as well.
We also want to remind you, all parents and teachers and students, that there's more valuable safety resources like the iWatch Texas program. If you could tell us about that.
Sure. The iWatch Texas program is a reporting system for non-emergencies. All right, if you believe there's an emergency, we still want you to call 911. But if there's something that just seems out of place or it seems suspicious to you and you're concerned about it and you would like someone to take a look into it, you can download the app, you can go to the website or call the toll-free number and make an anonymous report, and someone from the state of Texas will check that out.
Another useful tool is the Texas School Safety Center. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the Texas School Safety Center offers a variety of different tips about back-to-school safety for students and for families as well. And again, these are all good things to be talking about with your student before they go back to school and during those first couple of weeks.
What type of conversations should parents be having with their students, not only as school starts, but throughout the year to, keep them, of course, informed and updated and advised, and, they have to remember these things?
Yeah, parents need to be involved, talking with their students. I mean, I think one of the biggest things going back to school is, talking to them about, hey, you don't have to be friends with everybody, but treat everybody with respect. And if someone does make you feel uncomfortable, then you should tell that to, either your parents or another trusted adult at the school that you feel comfortable talking with. But, having those conversations throughout the year is very important.
Now, I know that every single school has different rules when it comes to drop off and pick up. Different. Some of the schools, some of them have, some of the routes have changed. Make sure you're up to date on all of that. And remember to be patient. We were talking during the break. If you wake up and you're late, you're already late, okay? Let's just make it there safely. You're already late. Just face it. Just keep on going. Make sure everybody gets there safely. So take your time and be patient. Remember that these kids, more than ever, of course, are going to be out and about the streets of South Texas. We got to be very mindful of that, and be courteous as well. I mean, these are things we learned in elementary. But we have to remember that we have to make sure that all children are safe. Any more tips? Anything else that we need to know?
Yeah, about those school zones. I know a lot of schools will change up their drop-off and pick-off procedures, and that first couple of weeks it can be kind of confusing, and traffic will back up and things like that. Please don't block the intersections to prevent other traffic from going to their destination. I've been visiting with our district bus drivers for the past couple of weeks, and that was one of the big things they said. And on top of people not stopping for the school bus was them not being able to get students to the school on time because people were pulling into the middle of the intersection and stopping in the intersection while they had a red light and traffic for them was clear to go.
And read the signs. Just because the route that you were taking last year was a certain route, it might have changed, and there's a sign there that says, okay, this road is closed, especially with all the construction going around town. You have to be mindful of those signs. They're up there for a reason. Remember, we just want everybody to be safe, so make sure that you practice those safety tips. And if they want more information on that, where can they go?
Absolutely. You can go to our website, dps.texas.gov, and I'm also available to talk with anybody, school districts, community organizations, churches. As part of my role in safety education is to provide safety tips on back to school, and then obviously traffic safety and any sort of safety topic, whether that be cyberbullying, social media awareness, anything that people can think of when it comes to safety. DPS is here to help provide you with that information.
And you're always so good to be so available to all of us. We appreciate you, Sergeant Mallory. Thank you so much for being here on Domingo Live. We brought you the safety tips. Now it's your turn to practice them.
Absolutely.
You have homework. Practice them.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Vamos a regresar con más Domingo Live. Después de esto, no se nos vayan.